When you walk on any beach, wave to the stars that are out of reach. Can you say that? Wave to the stars that are out of reach. And wave low to the waves that go oh so slowly. Try that. Oh, so. Wave high and say hi. Wave low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. Hello. Thank you for saying hello to me. And thank you, Catherine Dines, for inspiring that song. And thank you, Wareham Community Television, for allowing me to be here, and John behind the camera. I also want to thank New Bedford Whaling National Historic Park. They sponsor a weekly show for families that I do called Whales, Tales, and Sails. And that is conducted by Zoom until we can meet back in person at the Visitor Center. So if you want to know how you can link into that program, there's going to be my email in the credits at the end of the show, and I'd be glad to share that link with you. And we could be live too, but I'm really glad that you can watch this now at any time you want, thanks to WCTV. Well, we're on the beach and we're looking at the waves, and they're going like this. With the help of Kathy Reed Naiman, let's go shh, 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 shh. This is the sea, the wavy sea. This is my boat, and this is me. And all the fishes down below, swishing their tails, and away they go. Try doing that with me again. Shh, 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 shh. This is the sea, the wavy sea. This is my boat, and this is me. And all the fishes down below, swishing their tails, and away they go. Well, each week we have a different theme, and today's theme is Boats, Bath, and Beyond. And we've got our boats in that little ditty, and now we're going to take a bath. And this song is by Timmy Abel. I'm going to have you wave bye to your mom on the shore. Wave bye. And say, away. Here's a sign from mom. Away. Away, mommy, away, away. And make your little boat. All right. And you can join me on these parts. All right. It's all day in the mud and the dirt and the sand. Away, mommy, away, away. To sailing we'll go, it's goodbye to dry land. Mummy, we're bound away. So haul off your clothes and hop into the tub. Away, mommy, away, away. Hold fast to that washcloth and give a good scrub. Mummy, we're bound away. Well, I've got me toy boat and a squirt gun or two. Psh! Away, mummy, away, away. And a bottle of suds for each of the crew. Shh, mummy, we're bound away. Well, the sailing is fine and the weather is fair. Away, mummy, away, away. But look who comes in and starts scrubbing my hair. Mummy, please go away. The tide is running away down the drain. Away, mummy, away, away. The water's all murky, but I'm clean again. Mummy, we're bound away. So hoist yourself up and swab yourself dry. Away, mummy, away, away. And into your PJs, for bedtime is nigh. Mummy, we're bound away. So haul down the chutes and sheets and make ready for bed. Away, mummy, away, away. It's anchors away for the sleepy head. Mummy, we're bound away. Oh, that was a nice little bathtub lullaby kind of combined. Okay, well, in that little song, the water, the tide was draining way down the drain. Bath time should be fun. Do you think you have to worry about getting sucked down the drain? Of course not. You can barely fit your little toe in that drain. But I knew someone, a little water sprite named Alice, who could. I'll sing about it to you. Alice, where are you going? Upstairs to take a bath. Alice, her legs like toothpicks, her neck like a giraffe. Alice, she finished bathing. Alice pulled out the plug. Alice, where are you going? Glug, glug, glug. Don't worry about Alice. She's a water sprite. She loves it down there. It's a silly song. All right, let's do another bath time song. And this one's by Katie Rydell. And I'm going to have you splash in the bath with me and follow me all along, okay? Splash in the bath and scrub, scrub, scrub. Say that with me. Splash in the bath and scrub, scrub, scrub. And when I'm clean, I step out of the tub. Now you do that. When I'm clean, you step out of the tub. Oh, and stand on the mat and drip, drip, drip. Then stand tall as a rocket ship. And grab your towel that's thick with fuzz and shake, shake, shake like a doggy does. And hold your towel behind like this. Rub, rub, rub while you twist, twist, twist. How? That was fun. I'm done. I think you got it now. Do it with me, all right? Well, splash in the bath and scrub, scrub, scrub. Oh, when I'm clean, step out of the tub. Stand on the mat and drip, drip, drip. Then stand tall as a rocket ship. You can grab your towel that's thick with fuzz and shake, shake, shake like a doggy does. Hold your towel behind like this. Rub, rub, rub while I twist, twist, twist. Oh, that was fun. You're done. What, you're not done? You want to do it again? Really? Okay, we'll do it again, but you got to keep up with me this time. You ready? Let's go. Splash in the bath and scrub, scrub, scrub. And when you're clean, step out of the tub. Stand on the mat and drip, drip, drip. Stand tall like a rocket ship. Grab that towel that's thick with fuzz and shake, shake, shake like a doggy does. Hold your towel behind like this. Rub, rub, rub while you twist, twist, twist. That was fun. We are done. We are done this time. Unless you want to rewind it and watch it again or do it tonight in your bath. Try it. All right. Well, are we really done? Wait a second. You come out of the bathtub, you don't have any clothes on, you're not going to get back into the clothes you wore all day, right? You got to get into your pajamas. Yeah, of course. And there's a routine before you go to bed. There's all these steps you have to follow, and it's the same every night. But if something's missing from the routine, everything gets all messed up. And I'll tell you what happened to me one time. When something was missing, I'm going to get out my ukulele. It's been a long time since this morning, and I've been working so hard, building a treehouse in my uncle's backyard. Ooh, I'm getting tired and sleepy, and my turtle's been fed. But I can't find my pajamas, so how can I go to bed? I looked under the table, I looked under the chair, I looked in the oven, in the old Frigidaire, I looked in the bathroom, oh, excuse me, for a clue or a sign. Pardon me if I shout, how can I live without those pajamas of mine? And my pillow's so fluffy, and my sheets are so clean, after spending the morning in the washing machine, if you know what I mean. But I can't find my pajamas, and it's a great tragedy. How can I say goodnight? I can't turn out the light with no covers on me. Were they taken by pirates? Did they fly off with geese? Should I look up the chimney, or should I call the police? Were they taken by tigers? who are licking their chops. They were my favorite pair. Now I have nothing to wear, neither bottoms nor tops. Wait, I found my pajamas. Now I'm at the end of my song. They were there in the closet, right there where they belong. So I'll no longer hunt them, I will wear them instead. Now if I could just find my toothbrush, I could hurry to bed. Okay, well, let's find our toothbrush. And I'll tell you about my daughter's toothbrush. When she was a little girl, we wanted to make bedtime and brushing teeth fun, so I got her a little toothbrush, and I still have it here. And see if you could recognize that little fella. You recognize that? Sure, that's little Pooh. Well, there's a song that I made up for her, and when she was a little girl, she could sing it herself. Winnie the Pooh doesn't know what to do. He's got a toothbrush stuck up his head. It's a good thing that's where it is, too. Otherwise, I might not be able to do this at a family show. But my daughter knows what she has to do to get herself ready for bed. She grabs him firmly around his big waist, then plops on his bristles a gobful of paste, says, "Help me if you can. I've got to get all of my teeth brushed before I go to bed. That's what my parents and dentists have said. Brush every tooth front and back. Brush away all of that plaque. That handy friend of Christopher Robin. That dandy friend of Christopher Robin. That's what I do with Pooh." Thank you, Pooh. All right. Well, this was a favorite toothbrush of hers, and I have one of her favorite bath toys, and it might be one of your favorite bath toys, too. I'll give you a clue as to what it was. You recognize that sound? What makes that kind of sound? A duck. Yeah, and some of you might have rubber duckies, but does it make that kind of sound? No, it makes a little different sound. Well, there was a character on Sesame Street named Ernie, and his favorite bath toy was a rubber ducky, too. And Jeff Murray Moss wrote a really cool song that I'll bet some of you have heard before, and if so, you might be able to sing along. And if not, you can learn it. We'll stick our little rubber ducky there and sing this classic song. Rubber ducky, you're the one. You make bath time lots of fun. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of you. Boop, boop-be-doo. Rubber ducky, joy of joys. When I squeeze you, you make noise. Rubber ducky, you're my very best friend, it's true. Every day when I make my way to the tubby, I find a little fellow who's cute and yellow and chubby. You want to join in the chorus with my little bath toys? Rub-a-dub-dubby. Rubber ducky, you're so fine. I'm so lucky that you're mine. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of. Rubber ducky, I like a whole pond of. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of. Excuse me. We interrupt this regularly scheduled bath time to bring you this late breaking news report that really happened in January of 1992. You know where they make these toys, these little plastic things? They make them in China. And in order for them to come here for us to play with, they have to put them on big cargo ships to send them across the Pacific Ocean. And they're land in a port in the state of Washington called Tacoma, and then they get delivered to us. And these ships that go across the Pacific, they're huge, and they have these big containers that are 40 feet long, and inside one of those containers was what? That's right, 20-some thousand of these things. And the seas were really rough one time, and the ship was in trouble, and some of the containers fell off the ship and broke open. So all these rubber duckies were adrift in the ocean at the mercy of the tides and the currents. And what happened to them all? Oh, they floated around a lot of different places. And oceanographers started to study where they found the rubber duckies landing. And someone even wrote a book about what they learned from studying where these rubber ducks landed. I'll show you the book. It's called Moby Duck. And it's the true story of 28,000 bath toys lost at sea and the beachcombers, oceanographers, environmentalists, and fools, including the author who went in search of them. And the author is Donovan Hone. Well, it's a really interesting book, and you can learn a lot about what happened from reading it, or you could just listen to the other song that I made called a parody. I use the same song, but I wrote different lyrics using what actually happened in 1992 when this ship left China for Tacoma, Washington. Okay? Here we go. In 92, some Chinese junk bound for Tacoma almost sunk. Containers of cargo were busted up and set free out on the sea. 20,000 yellow toys on the waves they bobbed and buoyed. A rubber duck navy accidentally was deployed. Do I have a rubber duck sailor here? I think I do. There he is. Oh, you want to stay there? And so I got someone on the radio. They weren't fishing, but had a mission to free us from all our cares and woes, friendly floaties to glee us, tweedledee us. Rubber duckies washed ashore from Hawaii to Singapore. Rubber duckies were showing up everywhere, from Scotland to Delaware. They were in bottles with a note, but goodwill envoys that could float. A rubber duck flotilla even made it to Peru. They won't make you sick like a toxic orange agent, but Agent Yellow is a secret fellow who was sent. Here's my little secret Agent Ducky. Rubber duckies for miles and miles. Everywhere they landed, they brought smiles. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of. Rubber ducky, I'd like a whole pond of. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of you. Oh, thanks for singing along with me there. And thank you, Donovan Hone, for writing that book, and Jeffrey Moss for composing that beautiful bath song. All right. Well, we've got a boat here. And, oh, maybe you could have a boat too. And if you don't have one, we could make one. When we meet at the Visitor Center in New Bedford, we have a little craft exercise at the end of each time, and one of the times we made our own boats using a half a piece of origami paper, and I told this little story about a captain who was wearing his captain's hat, and then he was on the dock and he clapped his hands, and he called his crew to lower the gangplank, and so they did, and he said, hoist the sails, and so they hoisted the sails, and then he said, drop the anchor, and they pulled up the anchor, and then they set sail. Wow, you could learn how to make this origami thing too. And at the end in the credits there is going to be my email address, and you can email me if you want instructions on how to make your own little boat. All right, and while we have this boat out, let's learn what the front of the boat's called. Do you know what it's called? It's called a bow. That's the front. The back of the boat, there's the bow, and there's the stern. That's called, the back of the boat is called the stern. You say that, the bow and the stern. Hey, there's a lot more names for the parts of the boat, and we can learn it in a song by Sam Hinton. This is a really fun song. I went on a ship one day, and a good old sailor to me said, hey! Can you say hey with me real loud? Hey! I'm going to teach you the words to say whenever you go to sea. You never say floor. If you're on a boat, you call it a deck. That's the way you're supposed to talk whenever you go to sea. Oh, I went on a ship one day, and a good old sailor to me said, hey! Hey, I'm going to teach you the words to say whenever you go to sea. You never say front, you always say bow. You never say floor, you always say deck. That's the way you're supposed to talk whenever you go to sea. Oh, I went on a ship one day and a good old sailor to me said, hey, I'm going to teach you the words to say whenever you go to sea. You never say back, you always say stern. You never say front, you always say bow. You never say floor, you always say deck. That's the way you're supposed to talk whenever you go to sea. Oh, I went on a ship one day and a good old sailor to me said, hey, I'm going to teach you the words to say whenever you go to sea. You never say window. On a boat, sometimes the windows are round. You look through them like this. What's that called? A porthole. Yeah, you never say back. You always say stern. You never say front. You always say bow. You never say floor. You always say deck. That's the way you're supposed to talk whenever you go to sea. Oh, I went on a ship one day and a good old sailor to me said, hey, I'm going to teach you the words to say whenever you go to sea. You never say kitchen on a boat. The kitchen boat is often long and narrow, and it's called a galley. You can say that. Galley. You never say window, you always say porthole. You never say back, you always say stern. You never say front, you always say bow. You never say floor, you always say deck. That's the way you're supposed to talk whenever you go to sea. One more. I went on a ship one day and a good old sailor to me said, hey, I'm going to teach you the words to say whenever you go to sea. You never say bathroom. No, there's a special name for a bathroom on a boat, and it's the same word we use for this part of our body. What am I pointing to? That's what it's called. You never say bathroom, you always say head. You never say kitchen, you always say galley. You never say window, you always say porthole. You never say back, you always say stern. You never say front, you always say bow. You never say floor, you always say deck. That's the way you're supposed to talk whenever you go to sea. One day I was home from sea, and this good old sailor, he came to tea, and I said, you're going to have to learn to talk like me whenever you come ashore. You never say head, you always say bathroom. You never say galley, you always say kitchen. You never say porthole, you always say window. You never say stern, you always say back. You never say bow, you always say front. You never say deck, you always say fore. That's the way you're supposed to talk whenever you come ashore. Oh, thanks for haying along and singing with me. Oh. All right. Well, let's go on board a whaling ship. And I'll teach you some other parts of the ship names. The front, you know, is the bow. And if you're going towards the front of the boat, you're going forward. If you're going to the back of the ship, towards the stern, you're going aft. And the different sides of the boat, the one on your left, if you're looking at me, I think this is going to be your left, is called the port side. And the right side is called the starboard. So we're going to go forward and aftward and port side and starboard, and you can hop along this boat with me. And I'm going to invite you to get ready to stand up and hop aboard, okay? When I was one, I had some fun the day I went to sea. I hopped aboard a whaling ship, and the captain said to me, he said, forward, aftward, port side, starboard, over the deep blue sea. Ready to join me again? When I was 2, I wore a suit of blue. That's why I'm wearing my blue suit. The day I went to sea, I hopped aboard a whaling ship, and the captain said to me, he said, forward, aftward, port side, starboard, over the deep blue sea. When I was 3, I slapped my knee. The day I went to sea, I hopped aboard a whaling ship, and the captain said to me, he said, forward, aftward, port side, starboard, over the deep blue sea. When I was 4, I swabbed the floor would rhyme with 4, wouldn't it? But if we were on a boat, what should we really call it? The deck. The day I went to sea, I hopped aboard a whaling ship, and the captain said to me, he said, forward, aftward, port side, starboard, over the deep blue sea. When I was 5, I took a dive. The day I went to sea, I hopped aboard a whaling ship, and the captain said to me, he said, forward, aftward, port side, starboard, over the deep blue sea. Hey, thanks for hopping aboard with me. All right, sometimes when we meet, we share a book. And I think I have a really nice book to share with you. And sometimes people like to read in the bathtub, but if you were borrowing a book from the library, would that be a good idea to... Well, Lori McIntosh doesn't think so, and she wrote a really cute little ditty that I'd like to share with you. You can splish, you can splash, you can scrub, you can laugh, you can play rub-a-dub, but whatever you do, I must always ask you, no library books in the bathtub. You want to try that with me? No library books in the bathtub. No. Well, we're not in the bath, but I've got a book here that I'd really love to share with you. And it's about some animals called otters. A lot of otters, yes. And it's written by Barbara Helen Berger, and I want to thank her for giving me permission to share this with you, because this was a favorite story of my family when we had bedtime stories. And if you're wondering what otters look like, here, I have my friend Otto here, and he'd like to show you. Hi, Otto. How you doing? Yeah. Yeah, you want to show one of your favorite things? Oh, you have to go dive down to get him? Okay, go down, go get it. Yeah. I wonder what he's going to come up with. What do you got? Oh, a starfish. That's beautiful. Is that in the story too? Yeah. Oh, cool. And where'd you find the starfish? Down at the bottom of the sea? Yeah. Okay. That's where they come from, right? No. Where do they come from? It's from the stars in the sky, really? I don't know about that, Otto, but let's read this book, okay? All right, great. All right. I love the way it starts out. This little person here is carrying a bedtime book to, where is he going with it? Let's see where he's going. Oh, he's going in a boat. It may look to you like a cardboard box, but I know that is a boat, because when I was a kid, I had a boat just like that, and I loved it. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, see, he's in a boat on the water, and he's reading a book that looks a lot like this book. Mother Moon was looking for her child. You see Mother Moon, barely see her up in the sky there. And she said, where is my moonlet? Where is... Oops. I dropped the book. And so did the boy. Oh, no. I wonder if he's going to lose his book forever. Oh, I think someone... Can you see who's going down? And maybe he's going to save the book. Who knows? Let's see what happens. Whoa. Wow. Did you save the book? We'll see what happens. Oh, it did. It's got the book. Oh, and look, some other otters are showing up to wonder what this is all about. I wonder if otters can read. Well, it appears like this one can, because he said, Mother Moon was looking for her child. Where is my moonlet? Where is my little one? Oh, and these other otters are loving to hear the story. They're gathering around and listening. She called and she called. She cried and she cried. There's moon. And with every tear that fell from her eyes, a star fell into the sea. What a lot of otters saw the stars fall, and they dove down into the dark. Down into the deep. And on the bottom of the seafloor, what could they sound? Starlight and starfish. Oh, and look like one's taking one. What are they doing with it? They carried the stars up to the top of the sea. Each one's got some stars, bringing it up. And the otters tasted the stars. I wonder what they taste like. I wonder if they taste heavenly. They wrestled and rolled and rubbed the starlight into their fur. Oh, they're all loving their stars. It looks like they're sharing it with a little moonlight. Oh, sweet. And they bobbed and cavorted and rollicked around, and they made such a commotion of light that Mother Moon looked down. Moonlet, my little one. She came running out of the clouds, over the dark, over the deep, and she looked down and saw all that starlight on the water, and some otters. And what else did she see amidst all that? There she found her child, safe with a lot of otters in a sea of stars. And I think everyone loved that story so much. The moonlet and all the otters, they're fast asleep. Oh, and here's the end with little Otter with his favorite. Oh, and Otto, you've got one too? Yeah? Let's see. Oh, you got a favorite one too? Oh, thanks, that's a great story. Thanks for sharing it with me. Yeah. Thank you, Barbara Helen Berger. All right. Well, Otto has a favorite star. I have a favorite star too. My daughter, her middle name is Estelle, Jillian Estelle. You know what Estelle means? Star. Yeah. And when she was a little girl, I would do that same routine we've done today, having the bath and brushing our teeth and reading stories, and we go to bed. And usually she fell asleep nice and easily, but sometimes she went past her bedtime, and then, oh my goodness, she got a second wind, and I didn't know when that little girl was going to go to sleep because she was all wound up and wired. But I learned something that worked pretty much every time to get her to sleep. When she got past that hour, I would pick her up, and I'd put her on my shoulders, and I'd take a walk outside with her. And I'm a lucky man to live close to the Onset Beach, so I could go down the beach, and we could look up at the stars together. And it wasn't long before that little girl, after I was walking on the beach, she'd fall asleep. I could tell she was asleep because her body would go limp like this. She'd go, whoomph. And then I'd have the challenge of walking all the way home without waking her and putting her quietly into bed. Oh, I love doing that. One night, I was walking on the beach with Jillian Estelle, and we were looking up at the stars, and she made a request of me. From on top of my shoulder, she said, "Sing me a nighttime story." Ooh. Well, I'd often sung to her, and I'd often told her stories, but I'd sing me a nighttime story. I loved how poetic that was, and she was just a little girl when she said that. She might have been like 3. And I thought about that for a long time, and eventually I wrote a song for her, inspired by that request. And when she was a little girl, maybe about 5, she even could help me sing it. And I recorded her voice at some point, and maybe we can have her help me out singing the song for you now. My little girl should be tired, but those baby blues just won't close. To get this sparkler unwired, there's a little trick this daddy knows. I hoist her up on my shoulders, clasp onto her squishy feet. That's the sweetest way to hold her as we stroll till she falls asleep. She knows just where we're going as we head out into the night, to the beach to see the stars a-glowing. It's such a heavenly sight. And then she said to me,
sing me a nighttime story, show me your favorite star. Can you reach it for me, Daddy? Don't tell me it is too far.
my favorite star is in reach. A favorite story I'll tell. The story is short and so sweet, and that goes for the star as well. I'll sing you a nighttime story. I'll sing of the stars and moon. Let's go on a magic journey. We'll fly on this simple tune. I'll sing you a nighttime story. Now that the day is done, and looking back, we smile, remembering all our fun. And looking up, you ask me, which is my favorite star? You wonder if it's within reach, standing where we are, of all of the stars a-twinkling, of all of the jewels above, the one that I'm most fond of, I'll always hold close and love. The star that I favor most dear, the one that I'm singing to, she's not far away, she's right here, the one that I love is you. Hey, thank you so much for listening. All right, well, we've had some fun songs singing about boats, bath, and that was beyond. All right, well, I want to thank New Bedford Whaling National Historic Park again for sponsoring a show they do every Friday at 10 o'clock, and I'd love to see you live sometime and learn about it by emailing me in the credits. And I want to thank Wareham Community Television and John behind the camera for making it possible for you to watch us at any time. So, we were on the beach waving at the beginning. Why don't you wave back to me again and wave with a song by Bob Reed. Wave high. Say it. Wave high. Wave low. Wave low. 'Cause it's time. 'Cause it's time for us to go. For us to go. Wave your fingers. Wave your fingers. Wave your toes. Wave your bottom. Wave your bottom. Wave your nose. Wave big. Small like this. And with your lips, blow a kiss. Do it with me again one more time. Wave high, wave low, 'cause it's time for us to go. Wave your fingers, wave your toes, wave your bottom, wave your nose. Wave big, small like this, and with your lips, blow a kiss. Catch it this time and stick it right there, and hope you can join me again sometime.